Hollywood on the Potomac. This is probably the best place to just give a sense of some of the coolest officers I worked with. Stanley Hawkins, Charlie Moss, and Wallace Terry. They all worked on different squads, I believe, but were the regular officers I often worked with who happened to be black. Charlie Moss and Wallace Terry were both very cool. Nothing could faze them, and they never got rattled. Wallace liked to stand on a curb between the sidewalk and parking lot at M and 33rd Street on a Friday or Saturday night and say, "Good evening" to all the ladies who walked by. Sort of reminded me of the old balloon man downtown. This was his thing. For some reason I recall Charlie Moss on a cold night in November 1977 as we were returning from a backup call in the Palisade saying something like, "You live around here, don't you, Brown?" "Sure do, just a couple blocks down on the right." "Well, you got anything to drink, like rum or something?" We spent about half an hour with Cruiser 77 parked in my garage, while Charlie stood in my kitchen tossing down a couple shots of 151 proof Barbados rum I had, with Coke chasers. This was not the only incidence of drinking on duty that I witnessed during my year and a half doing this. Needless to say, I never partook. I even brought it up during my polygraph while applying for Fairfax County. Finally, Stan Hawkins, without a doubt, probably by his own standards, the coolest of them all. He was tall, thin with chiseled features, a rather large afro, which, when he deigned to even wear his uniform hat, sat atop it about 4 inches from his forehead. He was also known for his designer, large, rimless, smoky sunglasses monogrammed with the initials SPH in gold. One night, we stopped to give someone a jump start in front of the bayou on K Street. After being thanked profusely, Stanley specifically warned the guy to move the car because he was in or near a loading zone, and we drove off. About a half hour later, we got a call. "Scout 78, see the complainant in front of the bayou for the report of a stolen car." Not being far away, recall these patrol areas in Georgetown were sometimes no larger than about 4 by 6 blocks or so. We pulled up to the bayou, and guess who was there? That's right, the guide we'd given the jump start to just 30 minutes earlier. "What happened?" Stan asked. "I figured the battery needed a charge up for a couple of minutes, so I went back inside for another beer, and when I came out, my car was gone." The guy is now in the back seat of the Cruiser, while Stan patiently, methodically gets all the information for his report, name, address, phone, type of car, color, tag number, etc., and requests numbers, that's a case number, from the dispatcher to provide to the victim for his insurance company. While all this is going on, I glance over to see Stan filling out a hot pink-colored NOI, Notice of Infraction, also known as a ticket. When the dispatcher replies with the case number, Stan writes it down on his business card and hands it to the complainant along with the pink ticket. "What's this for?" the guy asked. "For leaving your car running unattended. That's a violation," Stan replied. "Well, ain't that some shit?" the guy said, just shy of yelling. "I told you not to leave your car there. You should have listened." The guy huffs and puffs and tries to get out of the back of the Cruiser, only to learn that the back seat handles in police cars are disabled. Trying to stifle my laughter, I got out, opened the door, and let the guy out. I could hear him all the way back into the bayou. "Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit?" Stan and I looked at each other. He put the Cruiser in drive, and we headed up Wisconsin Avenue, waiting for the next knuckle-headed call.